Well, and welcome to the Go Spurs Go Memes podcast, number 36, live but recorded from the Go Spurs Go Memes Network studio. I am your host, Ray. In studio with me today, Frank and Clay are here. Buddy, Sean, and Jack have the week off. Gentlemen, I hope you guys have had a wonderful week. We're right in the middle of the chaos that is the NBA playoffs. Your San Antonio Spurs are 1-1 with the Oklahoma City Thunder. That was just a horrible way to end the game Monday night. It was just kind of a mess. Over 5 missed calls, I think, in that last, 47
Close
seconds?
to like 11.
Oh, it's absolutely ridiculous. But anyways, we'll kind of talk a little bit about the game a bit later in the podcast. The first thing I want to do today, guys, is kind of talk about what we mentioned last week. So the Go Spurs Go Memes podcast does have its own voicemail now. You can call us at 848-GO-SPURS.
I left a Cinco de Mayo message today.
And the awesome thing is we got a lot of people calling in and asking questions and just, saying go Spurs go. A lot of awesome ones. So what I'd like to do, Frank, if that's cool with you, is I'd like to play some. And like I said, some of them are asking questions to us. So I'd like to respond to some if we could.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go. Let's try this out and hopefully it works.
Yeah, we might have some artifacts in here, but
okay.
Give it a shot.
All right, let's try it. Let's see. Here's the first one.
Hey guys, it's Roel from the World of Row and Pick and Row Show podcast. Just want to say you guys have an amazing show, and I get highly entertained. It's highly entertaining and enjoyable. I'm glad that you guys are all picking us to beat the shit. I can't say that, right? I can't say that. I almost said it, but you guys get the idea. Let's beat the crap out of OKC and keep doing what you're doing. And I look forward to working with you guys and having you on the show and vice versa. And, yeah, Go Spurs Go. And so how did it come about with Go Spurs Go memes? Because I'm not going to lie to you, the first time I saw it, I thought it said Go Spurs Go Mames. So I didn't know what that meant. I mean, I know what I know what that means, but anyway, just wanted to ask. So is it Go Spurs Go No Mames? Or is it Go Spurs Go Memes? I'm kidding, guys. Seriously, how did the Go Spurs Go memes start? I don't know if you're gonna put this on there or not, but just curious. All right, take care, guys. Go Spurs Go.
No mames.
No mames.
The answer is yes.
Yes. What's really funny about that is the reason why it's Go Spurs Go memes was just because other names were taken, like Spurs memes was taken.
And where are they now?
Yeah, exactly. Which brings me to another thing I just want to mention real quick. This week we passed 17,000 likes on Facebook.
All right. Thanks, Mom.
So yeah, it's pretty freaking crazy how Go Spurs Go memes keeps growing. So Ro, let me answer your question. How Go Spurs Go memes started was back during the playoffs of 2014.
Yeah, it was quite a while back.
It was quite a while back. During those playoffs, I would make memes making fun of some of my close friends. And I would put them up on Facebook, and I started getting people just started liking them. Friends of friends, people I didn't know, started liking them. Well, a good friend of mine, she dared me and said, you should just start your own Facebook page and see what happens. My wife kind of told me, yeah, I kind of agree with her. You should do a Facebook page, just start putting things up, see what happens. Didn't want to do it. And then I just decided one day, why the hell not? Let me just do it. So on May 26, 2014, I know the date, wow. I went ahead and opened up a Facebook page called Go Spurs Go Memes. And I started just making memes. I told all my friends, if you want to see the memes, it's not on my personal Facebook anymore. It's going to be on this page. And I just started getting likes. And as the playoffs continued, I just started getting more likes and more likes and more likes. And before I knew it, I had 1,000 likes. Before I knew it, I had 5,000 likes.
Didn't you get a share like in Japan too? That was like one of the...
Oh, no. My favorite thing as this thing was growing is that Facebook told me that my memes were viewed in North Korea. Yeah. So Kim Jong-un is a fan of Go Spurs Go memes.
And someone lost their head for that.
Yeah.
Unconfirmed.
We'll take it. So from 2014 to now, we've hit, like I said, over 17,000 likes. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. Instagram's over 10,000 likes. podcast is going, this crazy thing. We got a voicemail going. Yeah, so it just keeps growing. We got guests that come in the show with us now. Yeah, that's kind of how Go Spurs Go meme started. All right, thanks for the call, Ro. Let's see. Next one is going to be Steve Ware, I think it is. Here we go.
Hey, this is Steve Ware calling in. My prediction for the OKC series is going to be Spurs in 5, but I think that's entirely dependent on how they're going to play in the first 2 games. The Spurs are historically rusty after a long layoff, especially 3+ days. So I can see them dropping 1 of 2 at home, but Spurs in 5, perhaps 7 if they're rusty up front, but. This has been a historic season for them, so I just don't know. I'd like to think that things will be different this time around, but we're going to have to see how this first 2 games go. I'm hoping Spurs in 5, but worst case scenario, Spurs in 7. I'll be paying attention to you in the near future, Ray, for your predictions. All right, bye.
All right, so that was our friend Steve. Steve Ware is, I believe he's out in Plano, if I'm not mistaken. So Steve left us this message. I think it was before Game 2. He was thinking this would go 5. After Game 1, I was thinking that this was going to end up going 5. And I still think that we had a great chance to still make this go 5. But I'm staying with 6.
See, I still couldn't say that. I mean, yes, they blew them out, in fantastic fashion. But the fact of the matter is, just like Pop said, you can't tell anything from a blowout. When it comes to the playoffs, we always talk about this is a game of adjustments. You have game 1, game 2, they made an adjustment. You had Westbrook and Kevin Durant just, scoring at will practically. And then what happened on the side of the Spurs, Patty Mills couldn't hit a shot. Danny Green was running cold. The only person who was doing really, really well was Marcus Aldridge.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So let's do another one. Let's try this one. You ready, Frank? Here we go.
Pop's just playing mind games, or I just love that he brought in Leonard on Westbrook and the team to throw them all off. And even Green was playing great defense on Durant. Oh shit. I think it's either going to be 5 or 6 games. I wish it was a sweep, but the Thunder always find a dirty way to get them wins. They grind it out in that way as dirty games, but they also look to get under people's skins and just test them all. But hopefully, they'll pull through well, and hopefully we don't lose any games at home. Great, go Spurs, go!
All right, thanks for that one.
Sounds like something got under that guy's skin. Yeah, man.
All right, let's do another one. I'm really glad we got a lot of.
He's higher than David Aldridge, LaMarcus Aldridge percentage. David Aldridge. He hasn't been shooting anything.
Nice, Clay. Let's see. Okay, here's another one.
Go Spurs, go, baby! Woo! Number 1, go Spurs, man. I'm from Dallas, man, but I'm riding with the Spurs, man. Texas represented. Let's go Spurs! Let's go! Woo!
You know who else from Dallas rode for the Spurs this week?
Ooh, Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban,
yeah.
Yep.
So what's really funny is the voicemails will actually get transcribed to us, so I can read what it says, but it never transcribes correctly. So this call we just did, this is what it's telling me. It said, "Oh, supposed to go, baby. We little while ago spares, man. I'm from Data, man, but I was out with us press, Mitch. This is Joyce Monkey's do."
We should read the transcripts
more often, because that's pretty epic right there.
Oh, that's great.
This episode is now Joyce Monkey do.
I'll just do one more?
Yeah, let's do another one. Okay. Yeah, let's go. Here we go.
Hey guys, it's Ronnie from Facebook. I just wanted to say, man, I love the page. I follow you guys on Twitter as well. Probably one of the most knowledgeable Spurs things that I find on the internet besides the Spurs website itself. Just continue to do what you're doing. Your memes crack me up. I have a lot of fun sharing those things and talking to my friends about them. So you guys keep doing what you do, and go Spurs, go.
Thanks, Ronnie. We really appreciate that, man. I love hearing people say that how awesome we are.
Well, who doesn't?
Let's see this one. Okay, hold on. We got a couple with some good cussing, so.
I'm gonna ride and die for my Spurs all the time, but fuck them refs. They can go drink fucking bleach.
Okay, all right.
Well, I got a lot of work to do afterwards.
I love this so much. Okay, here's another one. Hold on. This one's really bad, too. Oh no, not that one. Hold on. Let's see. Let's do this one. Okay.
NBA gay fucking faggot officials that are gonna suck each other's dick after the game tonight, knowing that they caused the team a game.
Was that Peter Parker?
I really think that was the new Spider-Man. He sounded like a little kid. Appreciate the phone call, though. That's great.
Fantastic.
Now give the phone to your sister.
Thank you for putting a lot of work on my hands.
Okay, let's do this one real quick. It's just funny.
I hate Dion Waiters.
Okay, and this will be the last one that we do, and then we can get. I guess we can jump right into the news.
Hey, this is John. Just calling about the game tonight. I knew it was going to be a close game. That was tough. You know what? It's just going to make us tougher next game. At least I hope. Great job on your guys' Facebook page. Podcasts are excellent as usual. Keep up the good work, guys. Thanks.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, John. Appreciate the support, my friend. All right. So there's so much happening in the NBA. Coaches are getting fired. There's just a lot of rumors going on. It looks like the Houston
red wedding
Rockets
in the NBA right now.
Geez, it's just insane. So I guess the big news from this morning is that the Indiana Pacers fired their coach Frank Vogel. And I thought what was pretty crazy about this is that Larry Bird called him to say we're going to go in opposite direction. And Vogel begged him, like, please cancel the presser. Let's talk about this. And Bird said, nope, you're fired.
It was very interesting to me because he has not done a bad job in Indiana. They've had a great turnaround the last few years.
Oh,
right?
I agree
What is
with
it,
you.
They've made it the playoffs every year since he's been around.
Yep.
I don't know if that's accurate, but I think he's done a great job. Why get rid of him?
I think he has, too. I don't know what they expect that team to do, but...
Maybe they want Tom Thibodeau. Who knows?
Thibodeau's with the Timberwolves now, so he ain't going nowhere.
That's right.
But, I mean, I'm very curious to see who Indiana's going to interview, and I'm very curious to see who Houston's going to interview because J.B. Bickerstaff yesterday, he pulled out and said, I don't want to be considered for the head coaching spot.
You know who I saw that they're interested in Houston?
Who?
Kenny the Jet Smith.
Yeah, I was just about to get to that. So just some of the names that the Rockets are looking at, like Clay said, Kenny Smith from TNT, former head coach of the Phoenix Suns, Jeff Hornacek, Hornets assistant Steven Silas. I mean, it's just kind of, there's just so many names that all these teams are looking at. Even the Sacramento Kings are trying to interview tons of people. They're going to interview Patrick Ewing for the opening. Yeah, I'm just like, this is just insane. Let's see. Randy Whitman has emerged as a possible head coaching candidate for the Indiana Pacers. I still can't believe they want to do Jeff Hornacek. I just can't get over that.
Like, are we beyond this whole era of former players becoming coaches? It seems like we're about to hit like critical mass of this stuff. I mean,
I think they rely on coaches when they don't have any other options.
I mean, exactly.
And I really think that's what's happening.
But how many end up becoming, well, quote, successful at that? I mean, you have Jason Kidd. I mean, who's heard of him from, after the whole Nets thing? But yeah, I mean, is this some type of experiment that is just going to go by the wayside or not? It just seems like
I find
like
it interesting when teams go for coaches that were just recently fired.
Exactly.
So like the Rockets, one of the coaches they want to interview is ex-Nets coach Lionel Hollins, who didn't last long in Brooklyn. Like they fired him pretty quick. But the Rockets are like, ooh, he may be good. Let's go for him.
Well, I mean, the Rockets don't have the greatest history of decisions, i.e. Dwight Howard.
They asked Larry Bird this morning if Kevin McHale would be a candidate for their position, and you know what Bird's response was? He's like, I respect him too much to have him work for me.
Maybe he'll hire Magic Johnson. Who knows?
Oh, that's crazy.
Bird is coaching like he played. I mean, managing like he played.
Yeah, and they actually wanted McHale to interview for the Sacramento job, and McHale said, no thanks. He pulled himself from consideration.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So the news that I found very interesting yesterday was the rumor that I guess the Lakers are thinking they're going to get the number 1 draft pick. So they're already saying
Philly doesn't.
Well, that's what I would think is maybe Philly. But if the Lakers win it, what they would like to do is offer that number 1 draft pick to Indiana in hopes of pulling Paul George from Indiana to come and be in a Lakers uniform. And we kind of discussed this a little bit on our little messaging that we guys do during the week. And I kind of feel that for that deal to happen, it can't just be the number 1 draft pick. Like, that's stupid. If Indiana would take just a pick for Paul George,
Yeah.
You're just idiotic. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers threw in D'Angelo Russell.
Wow.
And the number 1 pick and said, give us Paul George.
Yeah, but to me, D'Angelo Russell is kind of like the future of the Lakers.
Oh,
so
I
why
think
throw
the
away your
kid's so
future
talented.
for
But remember,
Paul
there was
George?
all that drama where he filmed Nick Young, Swaggy P.
That's true.
And everybody came down on him. Even fans came down on him
true.
for doing that. So because of that, I wouldn't be surprised if they traded him out.
Well, I mean, you're talking about an organization that really is starting from scratch at this point. I mean, I don't think anything they can do can make them any worse.
Right.
But you're LA, and that's a big draw to people.
It's
I mean,
a big draw. You got a lot of money now.
People still, I mean, if you're going to play with the Lakers or the Clippers, I mean, the Lakers still have that name recognition.
Oh, yeah.
You can't sit there, and that history as well. I mean, with all those skins on the wall, you can't sit there and say, like, oh, well, yeah, I'll go somewhere else. That's got to be on the minds of a lot of players.
Well, not just that, but I think you hit the nail on the head with saying, like, there's 2 teams in Los Angeles. You have the Clippers and the Lakers. And even though the Clippers have been more successful recently, I think there's way more Lakers fans than there are Clippers fans.
And it is a time for a star like Paul George to come in and take the reins of the Lakers, being that Kobe, having that void gone.
Yeah.
So I could see a great opportunity for him, but
if you get him out, you're still at square one. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think this is a push either way. I
Very
mean,
good point,
you
Frank.
rather have him, you don't.
So
Get Kevin Garnett.
So the
I mean, Kevin
Rockets
Garnett.
are
They can
also,
Kevin Garnett all they
for
want.
their head coaching job, are also looking at University of Kansas head coach Bill Self. And they're also looking at University of Texas head coach Shaka Smart. Shaka. So
Wish's
yeah,
last name
I
was
really
Khan.
think that the Rockets are just shooting in the dark now.
They've got no other choice at that point.
Yeah.
Who can they draw in? What are they going to say? We got Dwight Howard. Come in here. We've got a fantastic.
We have such a coachable team.
Exactly.
Oh my God,
Come
it's
up here
just
and get
insane.
destroyed.
So last night the Cavaliers broke a record for most threes
Did you see the tweet?
in NBA history. 25. That's insane.
Did you see the tweet?
No.
The other team sent out. It
No,
was
what
like-
did they say?
Oh, that's right.
It
Go ahead.
said, take all the threes away, and we're still in this.
That was the Atlanta Hawks.
Atlanta Hawks
But you know,
tweet.
the Hawks Twitter account is hilarious.
It was so funny.
Hilarious. And I want to say when they were playing the Spurs and the Spurs went into Atlanta and beat the hell out of them, they were like, please no more. Like,
So you're saying they're in on this joke? I mean,
they
they're pretty much
totally are.
totally
Like, they're-
self-aware.
And I think that's pretty awesome for a social media account to be just aware of things like that and be
And
free
free,
to,
yeah.
to do that stuff. I think that's awesome.
That'll bite them eventually if they're not careful.
The Rockets are also going to interview Mike D'Antoni. Why? I don't know.
The teeth. The teeth.
The teeth. Nice.
He's like Gary Busey of the
The
NBA.
Rockets are also going to interview Vinny Del Negro.
Oh, I like Del Negro.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I'm like, why?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, these are.
He wasn't great as a player. He was worse than as a coach. Why would you do that to yourselves?
Hey, give Vinny some credit.
What do you-
wasn't
He
terrible.
had great hair.
He was the '90s Ginobili.
He really was. He had more hair than Ginobili.
I thought that was Frank.
Oh.
That was Frank Brakowski.
Let's see. The Heat announced that Chris Bosh is done for the rest of the season.
Maybe his
goodness.
career.
Well,
What do you
that's really
think?
sad.
Yeah.
That's really sad. But he was begging them, like, let me back out on the court.
Well, tell him the reason why.
Well, I don't know. What was the reason why?
Well, wasn't it because of the whole idea of the blood clots that they eventually said that?
Yeah,
that if you
so
play,
basically
you
the
can
doctors
die.
were doctors were really worried that if he played, he was going to die on the court. So, that's why they said no, which I think was a good thing because I don't
It's
want
like
him.
it was like that, like in the movie with Cuba Gooding Jr. where he can't dive anymore or else he'll die. This is kind of Chris Bosh. One more step on the court. You're right. It was Cuba Gooding Jr. De Niro, and De Niro can't dive in the water anymore. Or what's Men of Honor? That's the one. Cookie. You know that one.
Oh,
You don't remember?
no, I do remember that
Anyway,
one.
if De Niro dove one more time, he'd die. And at the end of the movie, he had to dive. He didn't die. So Chris Bosh, there is hope, but don't do it.
You won't drown Chris.
I don't
Bosh.
think you remember that movie the way you think you
I remember
do.
him saying cookie a lot.
I think you mixing it with the butterfly effect.
Go watch Men of Honor. folks.
And the last thing I want to say is Ben Simmons, who is the what everyone believes is going to be the number 1 draft pick. He's going to sign an endorsement deal with Adidas, not Nike.
Ooh.
And just to kind of add on top of that, the NBA actually released rules for the advertisements that can actually go on jerseys. And one of the big things is no team can put another athletic apparel other than Nike on their jerseys.
Yeah, well, I mean, because they pay for that too. How big are the logos going to be? I mean,
I heard they were little, but then I
like
saw the
silver dollar
WNBA
size, I
ones.
think.
Yeah, they were supposed to be real little, but then I saw the WNBA ones, which have just kind of taken over, just kind of like soccer, like football, you know. So I'm just kind of like, I don't know how big they're going to be now.
It'll be interesting to see. Eventually, you'll see like the whole, like, I don't know, United Airlines going across the jersey. That's going to happen no matter what. I really believe
Eventually,
that.
yeah.
There's too much money to be had for them to just let that fly. And when you talk about traditions of the game, well, that's your tradition.
Right. And the only other news that's out there is just basically coaching hires. Everybody wants David Blatt, it seems. The Knicks, the Rockets, Indiana,
not the Cavs,
Sacramento, except that LeBron didn't want him.
Well, I mean, see, I think out of the choices there, he's the decent one. I mean, he was just basically in a position that he wasn't going to win either way. I mean, he was just there, and LeBron was essentially coaching that team.
Exactly.
He never really had a chance. Yeah. So it'd be nice to see how he does with. I don't know. I mean, with any team that he goes to.
We'll see what happens.
And isn't Steph Curry? How's he looking for their?
Supposedly he's going to play Game 3.
I don't think so.
Of course he is.
He's going to play. He's going to do whatever he wants.
That's a bad idea.
He wants to.
Do we really care if it's a bad idea?
I feel bad as
one of us does,
well,
according to our text.
Well, I don't want the guy to get hurt, but I really think he's going to do whatever he wants. I don't wish him bad ill, but I mean, if they're telling you not to,
if you want to light yourself on fire,
you're going to do it. Yeah, it's America.
I really think,
America.
The thing is like if he goes and he's not ready,
Toby Keith music.
Obviously, that's going to affect him. Come later in the series, later in the playoff run. So is he going to be? Obviously, he can't be 100% in time for the Western Conference Finals. And if they're playing the Spurs, how much of a factor is that?
Yep, I agree. I mean, whether you're playing the Thunder or the Spurs, I think it's a factor. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, that's the news. We'll be back in a bit. We got a brand new Spurs in the City today. We got crazy stories of the week. You're listening to the Go Spurs Go Memes podcast. We'll be back. And we're back, and it's time to talk Spurs. All right, let's start with the disaster that was Monday night.
Raw? Oh, you're talking about the Spurs game.
No, we're talking about the Spurs game because Oklahoma City gave it to them raw. Yeah, so I guess let's start with the disaster that was the last minute or so of that game. A lot of missed calls. Let's see, Ginobili crossed the line, should have been called.
Took it in the chest.
What's his face pushed
Waiters.
Ginobili. Waiters pushed Ginobili. Then we had Ibaka pulling Aldridge and West, I think it was.
Well, someone even got in between. I don't remember who it was. Got in between Durant, fouled him.
Yeah, I think it was Danny Green. I think it was. I don't remember off the top of my head, but there was about 5 calls that were not.
A fan grabbed.
Oh,
Adams.
okay.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Let's start there.
Okay, let's start there. I think that is just really fucked up, and I'm gonna say it like that because
West Side don't care.
I'm sorry, Spurs fans, but no one should be grabbing players. That lady, the AT&T Center staff should have gotten her and escorted her out. They should have fined her, banned her, whatever the hell.
Ban her for life. Arrest her and everything because you do not want. That's unheard of.
It's ridiculous.
The final 15 seconds was unheard of. That whole thing was unheard of.
It's obscene.
There's a
freaking raccoon right there.
What's a raccoon?
Frank, there's a raccoon right here at the studios.
It's going out.
Don't let it in,
There
Frank.
it goes, Frank. Right there.
Frank, it's over
Right
there.
there.
Look, it's over there, Frank. Look, there he goes.
Miko is here. Crash Bandicoot.
That was a freaking raccoon. That's pretty hilarious.
You know what just flashed in my head? The Great Outdoors with John Candy.
Wow.
I saw it coming and I was like, no, that's not.
I'm seeing weird stuff here. Like the other day, I saw turkeys on there, and this one is big as a turkey. Yeah.
By the way, guys, if you're listening to this, the Go Spurs Go Means podcast studios is in the middle of nowhere.
It really is in the middle of nowhere. We're in a bunch of hill country, woods and stuff like that.
Not a shack, but a little bit better.
Maybe the raccoon was looking for the turkey. It did have a little black pilgrim's hat on.
Subscribe to the podcast, sir.
Forbidden love on the back. Let's move on.
Sorry, guys. ADHD kicked in.
So I know I said West Side forever, but my people, we're not sitting down there courtside. So
yeah, but I think you can yell in a player's ear. You can get pumped up, excited, scream, do whatever you want, but you don't grab anybody. And I really think that was
Was it a fear grab?
poor
Like, oh my God, I
class.
can't believe it's happening.
No,
She was being Nature Boy Ric Flair.
I don't think she was being malicious, but I think it was done on purpose. And I mean, the whole messed up thing about it is that if you really think about it, if Adams would have turned around and pushed, not knowing, like just gut reaction, he would have been called a bad guy. This whole city would have hated him. But
I don't
it's
know
not
about
his
that.
fault.
He looks like he'd
I
push a
just think
woman.
it was an unfortunate
No,
situation.
it's like running out in the field. It's not funny. It's not.
funny.
It can be downright
okay.
dangerous.
I'm glad you brought that up because the one thing that I'm starting to get pissed off at, I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but a lot of these NBA games are ending where kids are running out into the court.
I asked about this.
To hug the players and stuff, and then security is escorting them out.
And the entire family, not just the kids.
Exactly. The whole family's getting
Everyone
kicked
back
out.
to the bus.
Exactly. But I just think that's a messed up thing that because this is on television, you're seeing this. Kids are watching that, and I really do feel that some people will think that's okay. Yeah, I
can hug Carmelo.
Well, and you get all this time. You get it on Twitter. You get it on Snapchat. You get
It's
all this
everywhere.
stuff and an exposure on there. And what the day and age that we live in is trying to make yourself, stand out from the noise. I mean, everybody wants to be heard. Everybody
be
wants to be
viral.
that one.
Right.
Exactly. And so when you do this is just the very beginning. We're going to see this a lot until they start cracking down on this and
Okay,
saying,
so
listen, don't do
Spurs
that.
fans, special message from Go Spurs, Go memes.
No hugging.
No touchy. No touchy
No
opposing
touchy.
players. And do not allow Mijo to go out on the court and try to hug somebody.
No.
Please. All right.
Don't be
weird.
a dick.
Okay. So back
Unless there's
to
silver
the
dancers. Can I
Verbally.
silver dancer, please?
back to the last minute of the game. I know that we had a ton of Spurs fans that were really pissed off with the refs, saying foul should have been called, blah blah blah, whatever.
Can I say something first about that? I remember in the beginning of the game, I had texted everybody up there, and I said, "Wow, the refs are really swallowing their whistles."
You did say
there,
that.
there
Yes,
was
you
a
did.
lot
You
of
did.
a lot of calls that were just going on there. They were making them play, and I don't mind no calls like this stuff. I mean, like I've always said, who complains about the officiating? But the loser.
But the loser.
Yes, and that's exactly what happened here. Now, they missed all the call, and you mentioned everything, the fouls, stepping on the line, which I really didn't see. I tried
didn't
looking
see
up
stepping
down
on the
there.
line.
Oh yeah,
he was
completely over the
close.
line.
He was close,
No, his
but I
foot
didn't
was
see that.
on the land. Like
Okay.
He was Johnny Cashing it.
But
it
a
was.
deliberate elbow to the chest.
That was
on there.
obvious. With the ref looking at you.
Right.
Come
And
on.
again, it was consistent with how they were calling the entire game. So it's like, if he calls it, then who else is complaining at that point? And that kind of it looks over the fact that not only did that happen, but the Spurs still got the ball and they had several opportunities to make a shot.
They did.
Here's my thing
They
about
so
the
did.
elbow. Let me talk about the elbow really quick. The after show with Kenny the Jet and Shaq, which really I like to watch because they're funny.
Not Shaq.
Well, Shaq, I'm just sitting there, with my eyes crossed. Anyway, they brought up a good point. They had never seen that. I can't even remember ever seeing someone throw an elbow on an inbounds. Here's the thing. This is funny. For the whole hour, that show was calling the officiating replay center, that watches all the games.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't call them back.
Well, I'm sure they wouldn't.
And they
call
were
him back.
calling him out on air.
Yeah.
Hey, Charles Barkley's calling him out on air. They wouldn't call him back. Wouldn't call him. They even showed the replay center, and there was this guy, last guy standing there, looks up at the camera, notices he's on TV, and ducks and gets out of the way. The NBA didn't issue a statement until the next morning.
Oh yeah.
And that they said no one talk about any of this. I don't know if there were fines.
Rightfully so. You don't want an
Yeah, you don't
individual
want it-
from
right.
that's lower than the top. You need to have
Well, they
to
were
protect
calling
your brand. up
they
there.
were calling the senior head of the refereeing.
Yeah.
And nothing.
Well,
But he
not
can't say
just that,
anything
but-
without
but
the
if you think about when that happened, Chris Webber, one of the TV analysts, was just very verbal, and visibly upset about these missed calls, and he was saying, "You don't do this. This is you want." Teams to have the best chance at winning, and you don't ever want it to come down to something like this, but this is ridiculous. This should have been called. It was obvious. There were 3 refs there seeing it. Nobody called anything. But while I do agree with Chris Webber with maybe not specifics, but just his overall message, I do agree with what he's saying is that you do want teams to have the best chance at winning. But I think Frank kind of nailed it on the head with that as well. But in my opinion, about this whole thing, none of that mattered.
We had 48 minutes.
None of
to
that
deal with.
mattered. That last minute did not matter. The Spurs lost this game in the first 3 minutes first quarter.
Once they got down and didn't get, you know what? Give the Spurs some credit though. Throughout the game, they did rally back a few times, and they had chances to take the hill, but
they never did.
They never did it. You're right.
And that's my whole thing is, Oklahoma City came out. They had a game plan. We were flat. Aldridge was on fire. All of our wings were crap. Nobody was hitting anything. We were taking a lot of shots that were just stupid shots. Our defense, remember what I said about a week or so ago when the series started? I said, I picked the Spurs to win in 6, and the only reason I picked the Spurs to win in 6 is because I know we're going to have defensive lapses. And that's exactly what Game 2 was. Yep. We couldn't get back on transition. They were just in the paint dominating us. I mean, how many dunks did Steven Adams have by himself? Alley-oops, whatever, with the assist and everything. But they got so many points in the paint. They dominated rebounds. I mean, it was just the game was Oklahoma City's to lose, and they didn't. They fought. They pulled it out. They deserved that win in Game 2.
38 points in the paint, actually, for OKC last game.
That's what I mean.
But Spurs, 48 points in the paint.
Yeah.
I mean, LaMarcus was going to work down there.
You're talking about 41 points with him, but he's the only one. I mean, I believe there's only 2 players
Leonard
beyond
didn't
play
play well at all.
Well, I mean, look at even the stats here.
Yeah, the stats are
what you call? You have LaMarcus Aldridge. I mean, he scored 41 points. The only other 2 that are in double digits is Kawhi Leonard with 14, Ginobili with 11, and the rest are just single digits. And
Duncan's output is really surprising.
What I thought was really funny.
Well, no, really with that. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I mean, he can at least get 10 points. I mean, he's only getting 2.
But here's the thing, Clay.
It's not his offense.
If you notice in Game 1, the Thunder were guarding Duncan because they were afraid that Duncan was going to do something. Then they realized Duncan's not really the focal point of this offense anymore. And so what they did in Game 2 is they said, oh, well, we'll just leave him open. Let him try to hit his shots. And Timmy can't anymore. He can't even do that, off the glass shot that he used to have. Timmy's points come when he gets very close to the basket, and he's open, things like that. But if you notice, the Thunder were just daring him, take your shot because you're not going to hit it, which allowed them to kind of focus more on the Spurs' offensive weapons. And it was a plan that worked.
Yeah.
I mean, it just worked.
I like seeing Boban in there a little early, though. I did like that.
Well, I think throwing Boban in was to kind of freak out the Thunder, I would say. I know that they weren't expecting him to be in so early. But the thing, too, is he wasn't that great defensively at all.
I know he scored 3 points.
Yeah.
In his whatever.
He wasn't in there too long.
I don't think he scored any points.
No, he didn't score any points. You're right. He was only in there 3 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes.
Right. Right. I was going to say, I don't think he was in there long.
No, but I mean, you're just talking about when something's not working, you try and change the look and see how they respond. You put a Boban in there, all of a sudden people want to clog up the center, and then maybe later on you put in some outside shooters and try and spread it out. Make them make a decision. And I don't know. I mean, overall, I don't think officiating really had much to do with this game. The Spurs should have just played better. They should have gotten on transition defense. I mean, they were outscored on breakaway points. How many? It was 21-14, something like that. And you can't think that you're going to win or be in a place to win a playoff game, with those kind of stats. The only other thing I would say would be turnovers. However, Oklahoma, had more turnovers than they did with the Spurs.
That's true.
Right.
So, I mean, what balances out? Rebounds and transitional D. And I guarantee you, this next game that's going to come out, you're going to see that change in there. I would go ahead.
It's all about adjustments, like you're saying. My big question with this game is, what was the plan? What was the offensive plan? Because it didn't really seem like there was one. Everything
give it to LaMarcus.
Yeah, well, eventually it became give it to LaMarcus.
He played 42 minutes.
Yeah.
Good night, almighty.
But you could see when they were trying to get the ball to Kawhi, or they were trying to get it to Danny Ginobili. It looked off. It didn't look like the good offensive set the Spurs can have, I guess you could say. I don't know. I really think that the Thunder came up, punched him in the mouth, and they were rattled the rest of the game.
Yeah,
that's how I really feel, because that's exactly what it looked like.
And I think people, when they see this team and they see them get, I don't want to say rattled, but something is off with them, all of a sudden people get really, really uncomfortable. And one of us who texts each other all there, he's willing to jump ship and say, oh my God, we're going to lose and all this stuff.
Does his name sound like an Uddy?
It sounds like Muddy.
But it just sounds like, we're going to lose now.
Is he a fuddy-duddy?
So, I mean, that's pretty much what it is. I mean, again, you can't take this game you can take it what it is. It's not a whole, a type of game where it's like, oh, woe is this, we're going to lose this series. Spurs are still in this. If anything, they have the advantage. Now, when it comes to game 3, all those adjustments will be made. What kind of looks are going to be given? And I would guarantee you transitional defense is going to get better and possibly better on rebounding. LaMarcus Aldridge cannot be the sole proprietor of all
and the
these
Thunder are going to
points.
try to crack down on him. I mean,
Oh,
they're
totally
going to
will.
double him.
They totally
Tim
will.
will get his shots.
But will Tim hit him?
Will Tim hit his shots?
That's the thing.
Exactly.
But the other thing that I kind of want to mention about this series is that it's very eerily familiar when the Spurs played OKC. Was it 2012, where we went up 2-0? We thought we were going to take them, and the Thunder won 4 straight. And it's also kind of the same when the Spurs played the Clippers. We thought, hey, the Spurs had some really big games. Damn, we got the Clippers, yada, yada, yada. And then the Clippers took us out.
You just yada yada the series?
I did yada yada the series.
You can't yada yada the series.
Because I do kind of feel that this could very well happen in this series.
I think the Spurs, though, and you might correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Spurs do respect the Thunder's ability.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, no. But I'm not. This isn't about respect, though, Clay. What I'm saying is that the Spurs do have a habit of having a game where they will beat the shit out of somebody, and then the next couple of games after that is completely lackluster.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. So I would not be surprised if we lose game 3, because this is exactly what the Spurs do. And then we battle back, and this thing probably goes 7 games. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm still holding out for 6. I really am.
I really think it's 7 games. The first game surprised me, but the second game, game 2, is really what I was expecting the whole series to be.
You said game 2 was exactly what you said the series would be, Frank. And so I can totally see what you were saying when you made your prediction that this was going to go 7 games. Mm-hmm. But now I can totally see it, because I'm telling you, if the Spurs struggle in the beginning, first quarter, first couple of minutes, Oklahoma City, it's over.
I think this is the Spurs game series to lose.
It really
at
is.
this point. I mean, they are the far better team. They can win out. In the next 3 games, they can just win the series flat out. However, I don't know what it is. And people have been feeling this way the whole entire season, to where whenever we faced a Golden State, it's just like people feel uncomfortable. It's you don't get that confidence like, yeah, we're going to stick it to them.
Right.
They play a Chicago. Yeah, we're going to stick it to them. But it's more like, man, I hope they pull this off. Yes, they have the capability, but what Spurs team are we going to see?
And if I kept telling everybody this that asked me about the game on Monday. If the Spurs were playing the Warriors on Monday night, we would have lost by 20 points, not 1. Mm-hmm. And I'm 100% honest with that.
Or if the Spurs are playing the Warriors in game 1? And in their game 1 appearance, how would you think
I think the Spurs would have won by like 10. It wouldn't have been a big blow, but I think the Spurs could beat the Warriors by 10. But the performance Monday night, if we were playing Golden State, we would have lost by 20, which I will go back to my prediction, January 1st of this year.
Son of a...
The Spurs will not beat Golden State in a 7-game series.
He's going to shave his chest hairs.
Now think about this. When we knew that we were going to get LaMarcus Aldridge, West, and all of a sudden we started seeing a key all these players coming in that we knew were going to be great, that were going to give the team that added spark. Remember what we said in the beginning, this team is going to start off very, very slow. They need time to adjust.
Period, yeah.
So, with that in mind, would you have to say that this is kind of one of those growing pains to where these guys have never been in the playoffs together?
Right.
LaMarcus Aldridge has never been past the first round.
I think
is
they
that
got to
true?
the second. No, I think they got to the second round.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But they never been to the. They haven't gotten to the conference finals. The Blazers.
So have they ever played this type of level on? That's what I'm kind of wondering. But then again, why am I talking about LaMarcus Aldridge when he's the sole scorer of this series right now? I mean, he's the one consistency that they do have. But I mean, is that something that teams go through? Like maybe next year they're even better. I'm kind of curious about that.
When we get Kevin Durant.
I think
absolutely.
When we get Kevin Durant
and Gasol
and Gasol and everybody. So just I'm joking about that because I don't know if that's going to happen. Do we have a chance? Sure, we do. I would just say that we do. But what I was very surprised by, Bonner will be gone.
We said that last time.
The one thing I know, I've been saying it since May 26, 2014, when Ghost Spurs Go Meme started. The interesting thing is that the Sporting News actually came out with how the Spurs can afford to get Kevin Durant. and that was with Kawhi Leonard at a max, LaMarcus Aldridge at a max.
Duncan retired.
No.
Retired?
No.
Really?
Yeah. Kevin Durant at a max. Timmy not taking up the player option, but actually taking less money. Keeping Ginobili, keeping Patty Mills, keeping Tony Parker.
But West is gone?
No, West would stay.
This sounds like a fantasy.
Hold on. If
What
he
about
did
Boban?
a vet minimum, Boban is signed to 1.5 million. So there's a team option on him. So the Spurs sign him to that, and then we would basically have to get rid of Boris Diaw, and we would have to get rid of Danny Green, and the rest of the roster. Hold on, Clay. The rest of the roster would be basic vet minimums. So anybody else that would want to come to the Spurs would have to come at a vet minimum, because then it doesn't matter. We would hit the 92 million cap, so we wouldn't get taxed. We wouldn't have to, none of that stuff. It would actually work.
So, say the Thunder do beat the Spurs, is that all out the window?
No,
Okay.
it's not. And I'll tell you why. Because the Thunder will not beat Golden State in the Western Conference Finals. And the biggest rumor that we've heard everything about the Durant sweepstakes, him leaving Oklahoma City, everything has said, if the Thunder do not make the NBA Finals, he is out of Oklahoma City. So even if the Thunder beat the Spurs, I still think there's a chance that Durant comes to the Spurs. And the reason for that, one name, Greg Popovich. And if you listen to some of the recent interviews with Durant, all he's done is raved about Pop and talked about how he would want to play for a coach that has been around for a long time, has done an amazing job building a franchise. It's all about Pop. He's just basically
That's not Luke Walton.
Pop, So exactly, it's not Luke Walton. I would assume he has respect for Steve Kerr, but it's not Steve Kerr. It is all about Greg Popovich. And the way he's fawning over Pop tells me that there is a chance. And that's just my opinion.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Exactly. I'm not saying that I know something. I haven't heard anything. We won't start getting intel until the summertime once the NBA Finals are over. But I do think that there is a chance that we get Kevin Durant. Anyways, guys, let's go. We've talked enough about the Spurs. We'll see what happens Game 3 Friday night. Let's talk a little bit about what else is going on in the NBA playoffs. You got the Golden State Warriors, Portland Trail Blazers. Warriors are probably going to end up sweeping Portland.
Sorry.
I'm curious to see what happens when that series gets to Portland, because it is a different atmosphere playing at the Moda Center than it is in Oracle. But I don't think that it's enough to beat Golden State. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. In the East, the Cavs are just crushing Atlanta. They broke a record yesterday for the amount of three-pointers.
They made it rain.
I don't know if Atlanta can come back in that series. I really don't know.
surprising.
Yeah,
It really is.
I really don't know. I really thought Atlanta would get at least one game, maybe two. Now I'm starting to think that the Cavs are going to sweep them.
The Cavs are really starting to put their foot on the floor right now.
It doesn't
and
matter,
it's-
though, because if they get to the finals, they won't beat the Spurs or the Warriors.
I agree.
Yeah,
Or
that's
the
just my
Thunder.
thing. No, I think that would be the best NBA Finals, the Thunder versus Cavs, because that
You
would
think would go
probably go
7?
7 games. Yep, I do. I really do.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
Anyways, and then the other series in the East is the Raptors and the Heat. I think the Heat can sweep the Raptors.
However, right now the Raptors are up on the Heat in Game 2.
What's the score right now?
Yeah, they're only up by 1, but there's only.
But they're
30
up.
but there's 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. So
We'll
it's
see
getting
what
chippy.
happens here.
I forgot to put the monitors down.
I completely forgot we could have had the screens going. Anyways, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Heat sweep the Raptors. If they don't, I still think the Heat are going to take that. I think your Eastern Conference Finals is going to be the Cavs and the Heat. The Heat have a better chance at beating the Cavs, but I think that the Cavs are going to get to the NBA Finals.
I think they're unstoppable there. Yeah. I didn't think so in the beginning, but now, without a doubt.
They're unstoppable till they get to the finals, and then they'll get killed by the Warriors or the Spurs. Anyways, that's Spurs talk and NBA talk. We'll be back in a bit.
Hey guys, it's Clay here with the Go Spurs Go Memes podcast. I'm your correspondent in the street. And of course, the Spurs have 2 down against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Yeah. Now, guys, we got screwed in game 2, did we not?
Exactly.
A lot of people would say, though.
Bad play.
But what'd you say?
Bad play. Bad call.
A lot of people would say we kind of screwed ourselves the whole game by not winning.
Exactly. And then losing by 1 point.
And lost by 1 point. But they took an elbow in the chest. Did you see the elbow?
Yes, I sure did. That was bad. That was bad call. Bad call. Where were the refs?
Where were the refs? They were smoking their whistle in the back. Well, listen, I've got 3 Spurs. Well, I don't even know what you are. I don't know what you are. I got 2 Spurs fans for sure. American. Oh, gosh, he's a soccer fan. Anyway, I'm going to ask them their names and then see what they think about the Spurs. What's your name?
Veronica.
Christian.
Barbara Flores.
More.
More? Like the eel?
No, more like moreno.
Oh, sounds like a moray eel.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Okay, well, More, I'll start with you. What do you think the Spurs' chances are against the Thunder? And first, do you know who the Thunder is?
Who's the Thunder? I don't know.
You really don't know?
No, I don't
You know what city the Thunder are from?
No.
Do you know what Thunder is?
Yeah, I know what thunder is. But
What is it?
a thunder? It only happens when it's raining, yeah?
When it's raining threes or just when it's raining?
No, when it's raining.
The Thunder come from Oklahoma City, More.
Thank you, man.
God, he's working way too much. Stop making him work so much. Oh, what about you?
Well, I'm a Spurs fan 100%.
You think they got the game 3?
They got the game 3. And you know we're going for the 6. 6 all the
Do
way.
you think we're going to go? Now, how many games do you think it'll take to beat the Thunder?
That I'm not too familiar with, but
Well, they only it's a 7-game series, so they need to win 4. It's 1-1 right now. How many more games do you think the Spurs have to play to win?
3 more.
Oh, you think Spurs in 5 all the way?
Oh yeah, all the way. Yes, all the
And, and you're over here, you agreeing with her?
Of course.
Spurs in 5.
Yeah, first and 5, all the way.
Who's your least favorite Thunder player?
Durant.
Yeah. What about you?
Durant.
Durant. You don't like Russell Westbrook? What about him?
No, I'm not. No,
not really. No.
He dresses like a hobo. Have you seen the way he dresses? Have you seen? You don't even know who he is. I'm not kidding, folks. The first game he came out, Adams has that weird mustache, weirder than yours.
But Aldridge got him one-on-one, man.
No,
He's got
the
him
first game though, Westbrook came out wearing a poncho.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. It looked like patched poncho. Would you wear that?
No, and I'm from Mexico.
So you're saying even people in Mexico have better fashion?
Hell yeah, man.
And they have ponchos in Mexico.
Yeah, ponchos, but we love sarapes.
Sarapes. Well, okay, I want you to picture this. It looked like a sarape, except it was like feed bags sewn together.
Ugly.
And you're not even a basketball fan.
I appreciate the Spurs. I've followed them through their championship since 2004.
So you do wish them well.
Of course.
What's your favorite sport though outside of basketball?
I'd have to say tennis.
Tennis? I didn't even know. Who's a popular tennis player right now?
Nadal.
Who?
Rafael Nadal.
Nadal.
I think that's a curse word. I think he just said a curse word.
I think it's kind of cute.
He says he called me something in his Mexican language. I'm just kidding.
Novak Djokovic. I like him. He's from Croatia.
He sounds Russian. Anyway, so you're a Spurs fan. You guys are all Spurs fans.
Absolutely.
Cowboys as well.
Cowboys as well.
Spurs and Cowboys all the way.
All the way. Cheeseheads a little bit.
A little bit of cheeseheads.
Yeah.
I'm a bean and cheesehead.
Nice.
I'm just kidding. Well, hey, you know what? How about we wrap it up? Let's wish the Spurs luck. Everyone give me a good, loud go Spurs go right here on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Go Spurs, go!
This is Clay, your correspondent on the street, signing off, sending it back to the guys in the studio. Spurs game 3's tonight. Go Spurs, go!
So where will we hear this?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Hang on. Okay. I'll tell you. It's you want to know where you're going to hear this? Yeah. It's on iTunes. You can listen to SoundCloud. You know what SoundCloud is?
SoundCloud, yeah.
No one knows what SoundCloud. I don't know what it is. Google something. I can't remember. Ray will have to remind me. And iTunes. You can watch it on YouTube, or not watch it, listen to it. But if you go to your iTunes you search for podcasts, look for Go Spurs Go Memes, and you'll find it.
All right.
Yeah?
Thank you.
We got 4 new subscribers?
Go Spurs, go.
All right. Go Spurs Go Memes.
Okay.
In the podcast section or on YouTube, and you'll listen.
All right. We almost look alike.
We do look alike. I'm look much better than him, though.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit taller.
I can't be a more.
Yeah.
It's amore.
Afro circus, Afro circus, Afro polka dot, polka dot, polka dot, Afro.
Afro Circus, polka dot, polka dot, polka dot, polka dot. And of course, that music means that it's time for Crazy Stories of the Week. Break out the three-ring circus. Clay, what's going on in Crazy Stories of the Week?
Well, you're going to have to break out something for this first story here. So a lot of reports are coming out that Caitlyn Jenner will be posing nude for Sports Illustrated. And you'll love this, Ray and Frank, will be only wrapped in an American flag.
Wow.
That's not really nude.
That's not going to upset people.
No, not at all. This commemorates Bruce Jenner's 40th anniversary of winning the gold medal in the decathlon.
But that's Caitlyn Jenner that we're taking a photo
Caitlyn didn't
of.
accomplish this. Bruce did, but Caitlyn's taking the Sports Illustrated credit. And Caitlyn says she's excited about this because she's had her gold medal stashed away in her makeup drawer. I'm not kidding. In her makeup drawer. Caitlyn Jenner is 66 years old. She has admitted that she never displays her medal because she never wanted her children to feel like they have to have a gold medal in order to be considered a success.
And look at what they've become.
I'm just going to say exactly like,
all you
really?
need is a sex tape, kids.
Exactly. Screw the gold medal, kid. Bang your way to popularity.
Yes. Smash those papas all the way to popularity. Anyway, so be picking up the Olympic edition of Sports Illustrated to see Caitlyn Jenner wrapped in an American flag. Again, America. This is what we're going to.
That's what I love.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Keep in mind that Caitlyn Jenner had mentioned that she would like to kind of like be a surrogate for Cruz on there, saying that he thinks he could be she could be the link to the transgendered community through Cruz, but I don't think she really understood.
They don't vote conservative as it is?
I'm not quite sure that
Does she know she's not going to be allowed to use the restroom if Cruz is in the office?
Beyond that, no rights whatsoever.
Oh, that's insane. All right, so...
Oh, my gosh.
Hold on.
What?
Game update. End of regulation. Toronto Raptors and Miami Heat tied 86-86.
That's just nuts.
Going into OT, baby.
And you've just doomed me to editing the podcast tonight.
Why?
Anyways, all right. So my crazy story of the week, we're going to go to Mesa, Arizona, and talk about an Arizona student who's getting felony charges for a yearbook pick prank. So an Arizona high school student was hit with dozens of criminal charges after school officials discovered he had exposed his penis in a football team photo, which was seen by thousands of students.
Good for him.
So 19-year-old Hunter Osborne has been booked for 69 counts of indecent exposure.
What a number.
Wow, what a number.
What a number.
Couldn't they just get one more?
So this is the funny thing. So 69 counts of indecent exposure, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and 1 count of furnishing harmful items to minors, a Class 4 felony. Now, the way that they came up to the 69 is that there were 69 students ranging in age from 15 to 19 and 10 faculty members that were present when the picture was taken. But if you're older than 18, you can say, like, I don't wish to press charges or whatever, which is what the teachers did. So it's still an ongoing investigation.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, I mean, think how serious this is. I mean, this kid going to college is, if he's convicted,
he's got a porn career ahead of him.
I wouldn't say that too. It depends what we're looking at. I haven't seen the picture myself.
Yeah,
it's Ray's screensaver.
So he feels he made a dumb little mistake.
You think?
A little mistake? It was cold.
It was a cold day in Arizona.
See, Cruz, climate change is real.
So yeah, it was printed in both in the yearbook and the school's football program, sold at games and seen by many family members and community members. Yeah. And it was sent out to 3,400.
Well, they didn't catch it until a while, right, or something like that.
Yeah, they had already done everything before the faculty caught it, and Osborne is disgusted with himself for doing it. So kids,
no
kids
dick
at
slips.
Home, yeah, exactly. Don't be
unless you're a Kardashian,
because it will get you places. Gold medals for fools, fool's gold, fool's gold. Anyways, all right. So, crazy stories of the week. Let's talk about the craziness that
the elephant in the room.
The elephant in the room. The Republican primary races. Was it Tuesday night? Ted Cruz, Texas senator, went ahead and bowed out. He is no longer running for president, which means your GOP nominee is going to be Donald J. Trump.
Did it matter that Kasich also dropped out?
No, it didn't actually.
It didn't matter
to be
at all.
honest. There was
Kasich could
no
have
way.
stayed in. He was just wasting money.
He was delusional from the very beginning. I mean, he had no shot. I guess he was hoping to get a brokered convention to where, I don't know, he had like 4 delegates or something. I mean, he had more than that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's such a small amount that I can't see him having any leverage of saying, listen, this is what the people want. Come vote for me at the convention. It just wasn't going to work out.
Kasich.
So what's very surprising here is just the fact that Cruz did drop out. I mean, it came down to the Indiana primary, and this is the one that was surprising.
Slaughtered. He got slaughtered.
Swept. There was 57 delegates to be had. He got none of them. Trump swept them, got them all, and if Cruz did not stop, there was no way that he was going to get this nomination, and there was almost no way. It would have put the lid on the deal, sealed it, and just said that Trump is going to be the nominee. Now, with both Kasich and Cruz out, it's inevitable. This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is today's GOP. This is what it is now, without a doubt. And this election coming up, you've got Hillary and Sanders. Sanders is done.
Did he win Indiana?
Just in case.
He won Indiana, but it doesn't matter. He's so far behind.
He cannot get it because even though he may have won that one, it's more of a spiritual victory because he got I think 51 out of 49%. And when you do that, it's not like he gets all the delegates, he gets half.
Right.
So he's only up by half, but so is Hillary. So it's almost like a push there.
Yeah.
And the only way he could win is if he gets 80% of everything and that's just not going to happen.
It's not going to happen, no.
And Hillary knows that she's a fantastic campaigner. I mean, she's gotten to where she is because of this stuff. I mean, and I love politics just for the numbers. It's like my kind of sport. So now you have both these candidates. You pretty much know, regardless of what Facebook says, Hillary's going to be your nominee.
Right.
I just can't see it any other way.
The numbers aren't there.
They are. You could say, yeah, the super delegates, he can push it, but no. The super delegates see it the same way that you want the established candidate, regardless of what you want to say, but they are going to pretty much side with her. I mean, she's the safer bet. Now, think about the general election going on right now. It is going to be crazy.
It's going to be crazy and amazing.
Than this?
It's going to be crazy and amazing at the same time.
Trump is going to continue to. People think he's going to go center and try and get a lot of these votes. I don't think that's possible up there.
He thinks that Bernie Sanders voters will flip for him.
You know, and I can see where that happens. I've known a lot of people that say.
I think they're millennials, and if Bernie Sanders voters, they don't get what they want, which is they want to feel the burn, they're just not going to go vote.
Bernie Sanders voters are Facebook voters, which means they will share things about Bernie Sanders on social media, but on election day, they're not going to go.
Yeah.
I mean,
more than
statistically, they don't.
Yeah, when it comes to younger voters, they just do not vote.
The World of Warcraft movie came out. I can't go.
Yeah.
Well, it's something as simple as that. I mean, back then it was like when Halo was announced during the election. But it'll be interesting. I really do think, according to the numbers, I don't care if you want to make this a competition or everything. Trump has he's got to go uphill at this point because.
But did you see who threw his name in the hat today to be his vice presidential candidate? Rick Perry. Rick Perry said today he's very open to be Donald Trump's vice president. And by the way,
everybody's kissing his butt
now. She got 6 days of being a vice presidential candidate.
Exactly. And look what that did.
And we got to see her sing.
Yes, it was fantastic. And we got to see Cruz throw an elbow, which should have been a flagrant one in the NBA.
Threw a punch. He punched his wife and then elbowed her in the face.
I thought I was looking at Dion Waiters, to be honest with you.
So
no call.
Looking at what's going to end up happening in November, it will be Hillary versus Donald Trump, and right now the most recent presidential poll is saying that Hillary will beat Trump by double digits. But we'll see. There's a lot of time to go, and it depends on the poll.
Does that diffuse crazy though? Does that diffuse the crazy push?
Here's the thing. What you have to look at is when you talk about national polls between Hillary and Trump. It's worthless. You don't, that means nothing because the way elections are won are through the Electoral College. That means you need to look at the polls between Ohio, Florida, Pennsylvania, maybe. You got to look at the big bulk of the items. There are some states that are going to Texas will be red.
Actually, that was the thing that you and I were talking about, Frank. Is
we could flip?
It's going to be red.
We could flip. I think it'll still be red, but it could be very, very close. Because I think the last poll that they ran Trump and Hillary were separated by like 2%.
You know
So
what's-
it's very, very close, but I think it'll still be red.
You know what? One thing Texans hate worse than Democrats? New Yorkers. Sorry, Trump.
It'll be
interesting to see, but I do feel that the Republican Trump is going to have an uphill battle for the Electoral College, just because I don't know if the numbers are there. It just he's going to have to swing a lot of states to get to 270.
And it's been a crazy year. I'm not going to
Anything can
deny
happen,
that.
right, yeah, no, anything can happen.
But again, if I went by the numbers, Trump isn't our nominee at this point. I really thought, honestly, 2 years ago, I would have said Jeb Bush.
Right.
When the election was going on, I would have said Marco Rubio.
Right.
And now, I think during our predictions, I had predicted Cruz, just, tongue in cheek. And man, almost got it there. But, Trump, no one predicted this. I honestly thought he would just simply. I don't even think he did. But I thought this was something to up his brand, just kind of an advertising. But people bid on it. This isn't some type of sham. People are actually voting for Trump, and that's exactly how we come
What I
today.
think is hilarious now is that people are coming out in droves saying, "I am a Trump supporter," and these are people that were terrified to tell others that they were Trump supporters because they didn't want to be labeled as racist or haters or anything like that.
Yeah.
But now that he's the nominee, they're coming out. They're bringing out their Trump signs.
They got the
they're
little hats.
proud. Their little hats.
I'm making
Make
like
America
a winner.
great again.
I mean, when it comes, and this is how it closely relates to sports, except there's more at stake here. I mean, you've got your judicial nominees, et cetera. They produce policy that actually affects us.
Right.
So if you don't like your taxes or you like them too much, well, that's because of politics.
Right.
But the thing is when it comes election time, these are sports. Everybody likes to huddle around a winner. And I think this is no different. I mean, people will blindly support Hillary without even knowing what her position is on a lot of things.
Both
People
sides,
will
right.
blindly follow Sanders and doing the same thing, Trump, Cruz, and everything else like that. And it's very difficult for a person to actually read their entire platform. So as politicians, they know this stuff. They know what rings. It doesn't matter what was told to you 6 months ago. What did they say a week ago? And a lot of times, if that sticks to the individual voter, that's who they're going to vote for. So anything can happen, but in my opinion, right now, it's just I think the GOP is in a position to where they're like, we may just lose this. Let's work on, let's go down the ticket. Let's go down on the bottom of the ticket, and let's protect our hold on governorships and state congresses and state
legislatures.
Legislatures.
And honestly, if Trump loses to Hillary, this gives the GOP a chance to say, hey, listen, that didn't work. That outsider stuff didn't work. You went nuts. We have to get back to our values.
I don't think they have that control yet.
No, I don't think they have
that
that
gives
at all.
more power to Cruz, and we will see him again. He may very well be the nominee next time, but it's hard to say. A lot of things
it
can
really
happen.
is, but
if
I
the
don't think
economy
it's that
tanks,
easy.
there's no telling where it goes from here.
I will say this about
Anyways.
politics before we wrap it up. Correspondence dinner, my favorite thing of the year officially now. President Obama,
and
if
the
you
last
ever
one
listen
for
to this,
Obama, that's right.
If you ever listen to this, President Obama, you are hilarious, sir. And thank you.
All right, guys. Well, that brings us to the end of the Go Spurs Go Memes podcast. Thank you guys for coming in studio today. Frank and Clay, thanks for spending a lovely evening with me recording the show. We will be back next week with episode number 37. It'll probably also be a light crew that evening that we record, but we'll see how it goes. Let's
Sean
see.
and Jack are in Hawaii rubbing oil on each other.
They really are right now.
I'll be in California, so that's why we're going to do it early.
Anyways, as always, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. This podcast can be heard on iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Google Music. Give us a phone call. Tell us what you think of the podcast or the pages, or you just want to talk Spurs. You can call us at 848-GO-SPURS. That's 848-467-7877. Leave us a message. If we like it, we will play it on the podcast. And as always, well, I guess I don't know if I have anything else to say.
This is like church, Ray.
These people want this episode to end.
To end, yeah, right, exactly. Anyways, as always, guys, go Spurs, go.
because everybody expects it
Everybody
Saturday.
expects it on Saturday. We're
I
building a
don't
universe,
understand.
Frank. You don't understand that the podcast has to be dark.
And that's why now you know Jack, because Jack.
Somebody
just
has to
told
die
us.
in the
Jack-
podcast, Frank.
I really wish there was
somebody
more
has to die.
I really wish that there was some football here because there's
100
only
and-
136 days.
106
of
days
football.
left.
So, and you know what? I don't
Tell I'm at Wing Daddy's 24/7.
Wait.
So then I'm like, oh, my mom.
Hey, so I had a breakfast taco, and it was great, Ray.